Hello everyone, welcome to Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. Myself Viresh Rabinad, I am working as a lecturer in Government Polytechnic Mudur in Computer Science Department. As part of learning management system for 5th sem Polytechnic students, we are taking class on subject Green Computing with subject code 15CS54T. There are 6 units in this subject and we are dealing with 5th unit now. So today is 4th session of this 5th unit. Okay, first let's have a recap of what we have discussed in the previous session. In previous session, we have discussed about the regulatory environment and IT manufacturers. So in this concept, we have mainly discussed about different directives and standards which will help in achieving the environmental sustainability, such as ROHS, that is restriction of hazardous substances. So this particular directive, it gives direction about which all hazardous substances we cannot use in manufacturing of IT equipments. And we also discussed about REACH directive, that is registration, evaluation and authorization of chemicals. So this particular directive gives direction about the chemicals which we cannot use or which we can use in the manufacturing of IT equipments. And we also discussed about the directive WEEE, which is waste electrical and electronic equipment. So this particular directive gives direction about how we can manage the e-waste in an environmental friendly way. Okay, so in today's class we will discuss about non-regulatory green initiatives, and we'll also discuss some of the MCQs, that is multiple choice questions for assessment purpose. Okay, so let's begin with non-regulatory green initiatives. So first thing, what is non-regulatory? So non-regulatory means the standards which are not regulated by any particular body. Okay, so ಯಾವುದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಬಾಡಿ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಂಥವಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ? ನಾನ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟರಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Okay, so the governments across the world, they have come up with many green initiatives. So we'll discuss all those green initiatives one by one. Okay, so these governments across the world have initiated and adopted many non-regulatory initiatives. Okay, so we'll start from one by one. So first one is European Union. So what is European Union? It is a political and economical union of 27 countries of Europe. Okay, so they have come up with a green initiative called Eco Label, which is also called as Flower Label. So this Eco Label or Flower Label standard, it mandates that an environmental impact analysis be conducted on products or services throughout their life cycle. Okay, so here Eco Label or in Flower Label atideyalla, so this standard is making that environmental impact analysis compulsory on all the products and services which are happening in a European Union. Okay, so that environmental impact analysis has to be done throughout the life cycle of a product or services. As you have already studied, any IT equipment you take, it goes through many different stages in its entire life cycle. So here, while doing this environmental impact analysis, they are considering the impact of all the stages of that product. Okay, they are not considering any particular stage of the product, they are considering the environment impact of all the stages of that product or services while calculating this environmental impact analysis. Okay, and what are those stages? Okay, so the analysis should include life cycle stages such as extraction of raw materials, production, distribution and disposal or recycling. So as I was telling you, that environmental impact analysis will be done, or it has to be done throughout the life cycle of the product, so which includes many stages. So those stages are starting from extraction of raw materials and the production stage, distribution stage, that is distributing the finished products from the factory or industry to the customer, and at the end, at the time of disposal also, the products impact the environment. At the time of recycling also, the products impact the environment. So all the impact of all these stages is considered in a eco level standard. So this eco level standard, it makes this environmental impact analysis compulsory for all the products and services which you want to sell in European Union. Okay. So next we will move on to another country, that is Germany. So here they have come up with an initiative called German Sustainability in the Information and Communication Technologies Initiative. So this is the name they have given for that particular initiative, that is German Sustainability in the Information and Communication Technology Initiative. Okay, so here they have come up with a eco label called as Blue Angel Eco Label. So this is the initiative they have come up with. So this particular Blue Angel Eco Label, it covers more than 3600 products. Okay, so some of those products are papers, oil burners, wall paints and IT equipment. Okay, so this Germany, they have come up with this German Sustainability in ICT initiative, wherein they have come up with this Blue Angel Eco Label. So it covers almost 3600 products. Some of them are papers, oil burners, wall paints and IT equipment. Okay, next we'll move on to United Kingdom. So United Kingdom, they have come up with greening of a government ICT strategy. Okay, so here the United Kingdom government, they have their own ICT strategy, and here they're talking about greening of that particular ICT strategy taken by government. Okay, so for doing that, what they have done, the British government developed a green ICT scorecard with evaluated constituent departments, agencies and so on. Okay, so for greening the government ICT strategy, what they have done is they have come up with one ICT scorecard itself. Okay, so this particular ICT scorecard, it includes 32 key indicators, including the 18 ICT related matrix. Okay, so it means in this green ICT scorecard, it is having totally 32 key indicators, and out of those 32 key indicators, 18 are related with the ICT itself. Okay, so in what all areas are covered in this greening of government ICT strategy, or the areas covered in a green ICT scorecard, we'll see. So the areas covered include green policy, that is what is the policy, what is the green policy of that government ICT strategy. So that is also considered here in that green ICT scorecard, and how those policies are governed without impacting the environment, that is also considered. That is governments of policies is also considered in a green ICT scorecard. Next, the energy efficiency of all the devices that are used by government, and waste management, that is how the waste generated by the equipments that are used by government is managed. So sometimes what happens, the waste generated by IT equipments is managed in an environmental unfriendly way, so that should not happen. So here they make sure that in this green ICT scorecard, they make sure that the waste is managed properly. So if they are managing properly, they will get good marks, otherwise no, like that. So next, the supplier management. So all the supplier of the raw materials, so those how they are managed. Okay, even the suppliers should also be environmental friendly, so that area is also considered in a green ICT scorecard. Next, procurement, that is obtaining of all the materials. So that material may be a raw material or it can be a semi-finished product. Okay, so how those materials or raw materials or semi-finished products are procured, so that is also considered. So next, the buildings and energy management. So the buildings wherein that government offices are running, okay, so whether it is an environmental friendly building or not, so those things are also considered in a green ICT scorecard. Like that, even the energy management and behavior, so all the energy sources that are used in that government offices, so those things are also considered in a green ICT scorecard. So through this green ICT scorecard, they are trying to green the government ICT strategy in United Kingdom. So next we will talk about Denmark country. So here they have their own action plan for green IT. So for achieving that, they have come up with two different strands for achieving the green IT. So we'll discuss them one by one. So in that first one is, so what are the aims of the first strand? So those first aim of the first one is foster reduction in environmental impact of IT use in private sector organization by promoting green IT to businesses. Okay, the first aim of the first strand is fostering the reduction in environmental impact of IT use in private sector organization. That is encouraging the reduction of environmental impact of IT use in private sector, means private companies. So how they are trying to do it? They're trying to do it by promoting the green IT to all the businesses. Okay, so they are doing promotion of the green IT. They're telling that if you are using green IT, then it is good for businesses, it is good for the environment. By telling like that, they are actually encouraging the reduction of environmental impact of IT use in private sector organization. Okay, next, second aim of the first strand is adopt the same approach to promote energy efficient IT to children and teenagers. So here they are making use of the same approach which they are used in a reduction, encouraging the reduction of environmental impact of IT use. They are using the same approach for promoting the energy efficient IT to even children and teenagers. Okay, so they are trying to educate the children and teenagers at the young age itself regarding the energy efficient IT. Okay, and third aim of the first trend is provide green IT guidelines for the public sector. So here they are providing the green IT guidelines for public sector. Public sector means some government offices and all. So here they are giving the green IT guidelines for public sector also. They are not only enforcing guidelines on the private sector, but they are giving the guidelines for the public sector also. Okay. Next, fourth one, create a knowledge base for energy consumption and GHG emission calculations. So this is one point where some people will not get, like how to calculate energy consumption, how to calculate GHG emission. So for regarding this, what they have done, they have come up with one knowledge base. So wherein all the persons who have knowledge about how to calculate energy consumption and how to calculate GHG emission, they can share their knowledge, and through that everyone will easily get to know how to calculate the energy consumption and how to calculate the GHG emission. Okay. So next we will concentrate on the second strand of the Denmark. Okay, so that is first point in that is foster research and development on green IT, pervasive computing and e-government. Okay, so the first aim of the second strand is encouraging the research and development on green IT, pervasive computing. What is pervasive computing? It is ubiquitous computing. So means almost all the household materials or the materials or equipments which you come across, so in almost every equipment the it is embedded with microprocessors. Okay, so that is called as ubiquitous or a pervasive computing. So here they are encouraging research and development on such ubiquitous or pervasive computing, and even they are encouraging the research and development on a e-government also. Okay, so that is doing that government official work through internet. So next, second aim of the second strand is the transfer of green IT knowledge and technologies. Okay, so here even the green IT knowledge, it has to be transferred from one person to another person, or one place to another place, or one institute to another place in another institute. Otherwise there is no meaning in having that knowledge at a single place. So here they are coming up with some ways to transfer that green IT knowledge and technologies. So next, third one is green IT knowledge sharing using international conferences on green IT hosted in Denmark. So to share this green IT knowledge, okay, what they are doing, they are coming up with some international conferences on green IT. So through this international conferences, they are sharing their green IT knowledge to entire world. Okay, so these are the two different strands and of how the Denmark is greening the IT. So next we will discuss about Finland country. So the government's central procurement is invested in a limited company called Hansel Limited. So what it means is they are doing the central purchasing of almost all the materials. Okay, and they are doing that central purchasing of all the materials through this company called Hansel Limited. Okay, how this will help, how this will help in achieving that green IT, we'll see. So this organization works with the Finnish Environment Institute to develop and apply rigorous environmental criteria for public tendering procedures including IT. So since every material or everything or every IT product is purchased through this Hansel Limited only, so while doing that purchasing and all, so what they're doing, they are working along with the Finnish Environment Institute to develop some rigorous environmental criteria for public tendering procedures. Okay, so here every person who is participating in that tendering procedures, they have to follow these environmental criteria. So when you put those criteria, or if when you enforce those criteria on all the things, then surely you will achieve the green IT. So that is how they are trying to achieve the green IT in Finland. Okay, so next we will discuss about Japan. So here they have come up with the green IT promotion council. So this council, it consists of members from academia, industry, and government or the public sector. Okay, so here they have their promotion IT, Green IT Promotion Council. So this Green IT Promotion Council, it consists of members from different areas. So that is academia, that is academics, education related. Next, industry. So industry means that those members can be of the same nation, of same from Japan, or they may be from other nation also. And they will also consider some of the members from government or the public sector also. Means government employees can also be members of this Green IT Promotion Council. So next we will discuss what are the aims of this Green IT initiative. Okay, so first aim is generate research and development on energy efficient IT. So here they are encouraging the research and development on the energy efficient IT. Energy efficient IT means the IT which works with the lesser energy. Okay, so IT means all the IT equipments, that is it may be a desktop, laptop, or networking devices. So here they are making sure that all these IT equipments should work with the lesser energy. So they are doing research and development to make sure that all the equipments should work with the less energy. The second one is promote awareness of the environmental impacts of IT. So here they are creating awareness among the public regarding environmental impacts of IT. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಐ ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇವರೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಏಮ್ಡ್ ಆಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಐ ಟಿ. So here at the education level itself, they are coming up with they are aiming at managing of this environment and green IT. So you can see that the education level itself means they will come up with some syllabus for students which have information regarding how to manage the environment and green IT. Okay, so these are the aims of this green IT initiative of Japan country. Okay, so we have reached the end of uh, discussion of the session. So now we'll discuss some of the multiple choice questions on the concepts which we have discussed till now. Okay, in that first question is eco label standard is also known as green label, tree label, flower label, and garden label. Okay, so they have given four options. You have to tell eco label. ಎಕೋ ಲೇಬಲ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೆಸರೇನು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಲೇಬಲ್, ಟ್ರೀ ಲೇಬಲ್, ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಲೇಬಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗಾರ್ಡನ್ ಲೇಬಲ್. ಸೊ ದ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಲೇಬಲ್. ಸೊ ಎಕೋ ಲೇಬಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಲೇಬಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್. ಓಕೆ, so eco label standard mandates that an environmental impact analysis be conducted on dash throughout their life cycle. Okay, so the options are products, services, none of them, both of them. Okay, so idenpa andre eco label standard it puts some compulsion. Okay, that environmental impact analysis has to be conducted, but on what all things that environmental impact analysis has to be conducted, whether it has to be conducted only on products or services, none of them, or both of them. Okay, so we have studied just now studied that eco label standard it mandates the environmental impact analysis of both products and services. So that's why the correct answer is D, both of them. So next third question, eco label standard mandates analysis of dash stages of life cycle. Okay, ಸೊ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟೇಜಸ್ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟೇಜಸ್ ಇದ್ದು ಅನಲೈಸಿಸ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅನಲೈಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಎಕೋ ಲೇಬಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದಂಗೆ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್, ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್, ಡಿಸ್ಪೋಸಲ್ ಆರ್ recycling. Fourth option is all of them. Okay, so we have studied that eco label standard it mandates the analysis of all these stages of life cycle, that is extraction of raw materials, production, disposal or recycling. So ಎಲ್ಲ ಥರದ್ದು ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಅನಲೈಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನೇ ಎಕೋ ಲೇಬಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿರಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕಂಪಲ್ಷನ್ ಹಾಕುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ದಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿ. So fourth question, dash covers eco label covers more than 3600 products including papers, oil burners, wall paints and IT equipment. So they have given four options here: blue angel, green angel, white angel, orange angel. So you have to tell now which particular eco label covers more than 3600 products including papers, oil burners, wall paints and IT equipment. Okay, so there are no such eco labels like green label, white label or orange label. Okay, so blue angel is the one which actually covers more than 3600 products. Okay, so that's why the correct answer is option A, blue angel. Next, fifth question, dash number of key indicators are present in a green ICT scorecard. Okay, so green ICT scorecard ಎಷ್ಟು key indicators are. Okay, so the options are 16, 32, 20 and 40. Okay, so the correct answer is 32. In green ICT scorecard 32 key indicators are there. So sixth one, dash areas are covered under green ICT scorecard. So what all areas are covered under green ICT scorecard? So the options are green policy, waste management, procurement and all of them. Okay, so just now I have studied that all these areas, that is green policy, waste management, procurement, all these areas are covered under green ICT scorecard. That's why the correct answer is D, all of them. Next, seventh one, Finland government's central procurement is invested in company called Dash. Okay, so Finland government ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, does the central purchasing through one company. So what is that company name? So the options are Amazon, Hansel Limited, Flipkart, and Alibaba. So actually Amazon, Flipkart, Alibaba, these are all the leading e-marketing companies. Okay, so the correct answer is Hansel Limited. So Hansel Limited company ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, so Finland government ಎಲ್ಲ through that company itself they do the central purchasing. Okay, so the correct answer is B, Hansel Limited. So eighth question, Green IT Promotion Council of Japan consists of members from. So Green IT Promotion Council ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಏರಿಯಾಯಿಂದ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಯಾ, ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿ, ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಐ ಟಿ ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಜಪಾನ್ ಇಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ಸಿಂದನೂ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರಿಂದನೂ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. So that's why the correct answer is D, all of them. Next, ninth question, the Green IT Initiative aims to. So ಅಂದರೆ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಐ ಟಿ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ದು ಆಫ್ ಜಪಾನ್ ಅದು ಏನೇನು ಏಮ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಐ ಟಿ, ಬಿ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಐ ಟಿ, ಸಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ aimed at management of the environment and green IT, and last one is all of them. Okay, so actually all these, that is A, B, C, so all these are the aims of green IT initiative of Japan country. So that's why the correct answer is D, all of them. So 10th question is they have given a statement here, you have to tell whether it is true or false. Okay, so that statement is green ICT scorecard includes 18 ICT related metrics. So the options are obviously true or false. Okay, so the statement is actually correct. So there are totally 32 key indicators in green ICT scorecard, and out of those 32 key indicators, 18 are ICT related metrics. So the statement is true. That's why the correct answer is option 8A. So I have come up with end of this session. So for creating all the content of this presentation, I have referred book Harnessing Green IT Principles and Practices, written by San Murugesan and G.R. Gangadhar. Thank you for watching. Keep learning.